just put it in for us. Thank you very much. You may be seated. Silence, please. On the 22nd of August 2016, the late Councillor Munamodi was inaugurated to serve in this council. He took the oath and was allocated that seat. And his name and photo was displayed digitally at all times when he attended council meetings. On the 31st of October 2019, Councillor David Munamodi passed on, and his civic funeral was on the 9th of November 2019. Hence, the special council meeting is being held here today. Today, the council flag with the coat of arms is placed on the podium. You've seen it at the back there. He is represented by the flowers placed on his seat, symbolizing that he will never sit on it again. We honored him, and tributes were made by political parties presented in this council. This special council is also being held to officially remove the name of Councillor Munamodi from this chamber, a protocol ritual. Sad as it is for all of us, this is the reality we have to accept. I'm now going to ask the official delegate to do this honors, to lead this ritual. Acting Secretary.
We'll have comments by family representatives.
Mrs. Elizabeth Munamodi, can you please assist her there?
I would like to greet you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to greet all the party members. As the Munamudis, we would like to say that we have lost. However, we appreciate how different political parties have helped us since the beginning of the date. They made all things to be possible and easy, so that we therefore like to thank deeply from the bottom of our hearts. It is true that I'm still hurt, I'm deeply hurt at the moment. However, I would like to thank all the support that you have given us from different political parties, the South African Police Service, the African National Congress, the city of Johannesburg. They stood with us and supported us. We were relieved. And I would like to say I have been busy. I never said anything. I therefore want to say to David, although you have left us unexpectedly, I was waiting that you are the one who will bury me. I was not waiting to marry you. Your mother was waiting for her to marry, for you to marry her. However, because God knows everything, I say that David's spirits rest in peace. I thank you.
Councillors, this brings us to the end of the memorial service. Just to give the family a chance to be ushered out first, I'd ask the officials please to assist, including removing the photo, and the ANC to accompany the family out. We will be back in the council chamber in the next 20 minutes at 20 to 11. Please be back in here sharp so that we can start our second special meeting. Can we rise, please? Thank you, councillors. Councillors, I've also heard in the meantime that a freeman of the city has actually visited us today. Mlangeni is Ntate Mlangeni, is he present? Ogana Oruguntle. There you are. Thank you very much. Thank you. Akuthile. Uthomile apha. Thank you, councillors. Matumi. Ngiyayazi ukuthi uzoba quiet namhlanje.
I know that will be quiet today. You will not make a noise.
Thank you. Acting Secretary.
It is hereby notified that the election of the Executive Mayor of City of Johannesburg will be held in the new council chamber, ground floor, Metropolitan Center, Bloemfontein, on Thursday, 28 November 2019 at 10. Please note that the election of the Executive Mayor will be conducted in line with Schedule 3 to the Local Government Municipal Structures Act 1998, Act 117 of 1998, attached hereto. Further note that this process will happen prior to consideration of the ordinary business of council scheduled for the 28th and 29th of November 2019.
Thank you very much. Councillors, just to go through the leaves of absences first. Is there any leaves of absences? Councillor de Kock, leaves of absence? No. Anybody else? Nobody. Oh, they are just late. Okay. Nipelele.
All here.
In life. First time for 3 years. Announcements. Councillors have got to follow this procedure. Councillor Mabona.
Yeah, Speaker, thank you very much. I thought that you will be able to lead this House with proper attention. Speaker, as a KTC, I thought maybe you would say that remind all the councillors to be able to sign the register, so that once we start with the processes, you show that everyone has signed both registers outside. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillors, as I was going to go through that, it was going to be my... So thank you, Councillor Mabona, for reminding me. Councillors, there is basically two registers outside. The one was for the first meeting that we had earlier, not the memorial service. Please make sure that you sign that. And the one is for the special meeting to elect the executive mayor for the city. So please make sure that you sign it, because that, and you will later understand once I've gone through the procedure for the day, for that to happen. I really want to, at this time, ask the camera crew to please go upstairs so that we are not disturbing the procedure in here. No flashlights, please. There is space up there. There is plug-in points where you can plug in your cameras and whatever. And the reason for this meeting, and I'm going to give the reason, the executive mayor of the city of Johannesburg resigned as the executive mayor and councillor for the city of Johannesburg. His resignation is effective from yesterday, the 27th of 2019. There is thus a vacancy in the office of the executive mayor, and the provisions of section 55(2) and 3 of the Local Government Municipal Structures Act of 1998, the Act number 118 of 1998 as amended shall apply.
On a point of order.
Councillor, please raise your point of order.
All due respect, Speaker, we've just asked people who did not sign to go outside and sign, and now you are tabling the issue. I think everybody must get an opportunity so that when we engage, no one is lost. So I was going to ask that that 5 minutes so that people who are outside can be able to hear what you're saying.
Thanks.
Okay, I'll restart once they are all in.
Structures, Speaker, let me just correct something. When you repeat, it must be right. You said 118 is 117.
Okay.
Just correct it when you repeat. This act is 117.
Yes. Can I just ask protocol to see, once everybody is signed out there, that those attendance registers are brought in. Those that will be arriving late before we vote will come and register inside. Councillor Mukhase.
Speaker, thanks.
The comment you've just made,
I'll entertain it. What would happen, you'll go through what would be the rules and procedures. Then after we'll deal with the matter. So I would ask you to stop, let all councillors go and register those that are not there. Then you start with the problem because the election is run by the Speaker, the office of the Speaker, we know that.
I hear you very well. I have to go through a lot of rules.
Before the voting starts, and that's why I'm giving that opportunity. If somebody's not in here before we officially start with the voting procedure, that they still have that opportunity. That's all that I was saying. Okay. Can I get a message from outside as to how far they are? Shilling? I need a message from outside to find out whether they've signed. Kotsi, I suggest that you come and sit in front here. Is there any other official outside there? Just to control the door. Thank you, councillors. Is everybody in that should be here? Al-Chanjili Sainelo saying. Eish.
Only 2 councillors that are coming. Otherwise, all councillors have signed, and then Councillor again is not here.
Okay. Why is he mistake extending our sign? Ish, matata. High call. Hey. Thank you. Is the doors closed? Marcel?
There's a convene the ANC council who they say they can't find the second register.
No, there can't be something like that. There's the register, go Marcel. You go Marcel. Thank you, councillors. Can we take our seats, please? Thank you. Can I have less movement? Councillor Christians, Whistler. Ntate Mogase. Thank you. Can you hand them over to the IEC? Rafiq, right in front there. Councillors, if the voting starts, those councillors that does not have their ID documents here, we've ensured that you are registered and you've got your ID number on there. We will check that, including your face, to make sure you didn't bring a double here. Okay. Thank you, councillors. Right, can I then please go to the procedure and the reason why we are all here. The Executive Mayor of the City of Johannesburg signed and resigned as Executive Mayor and Councillor of the City of Johannesburg. His resignation is effective from the 27th of November 2019. And at this point, I'd like to announce the replacement for Councillor Herman Mashaba, ex-Councillor Herman Mashaba. It's Councillor Butch Stein, sitting right at the back there. Can you rise, please? Welcome. There is thus a vacancy in the office of the Executive Mayor, and the provisions of Section 55(2) and 3 of the Local Government Municipal Structures Act of 1998, the Act 117 of 1998 as amended shall apply. Section 55(2), election of the executive mayor. 1. A vacancy in the office of the executive mayor or executive deputy mayor must be filled when necessary. The procedure set out in Schedule 3 applies to the election of the executive mayor and the executive deputy mayor, although in the city we don't have that. Notice of this meeting has been given in accordance with Rule 55 of the Standing Rules and Orders of Council 2016 as amended, and councillors, you've all received that notice. The Independent Electoral Commission has been requested, not in their official capacity, and obviously they are here to assist us, because remember that this is a process that the Speaker must run, and therefore I wanted complete independence from any officials within the city in this. They have been requested to conduct the election, and they have accepted the challenge, and that's why you're seeing sitting right in front there diligently, waiting for our processes. I urge all councillors and officials to cooperate with the IEC in this regard. The meeting will now proceed to the election of the executive mayor for the city of Johannesburg in accordance with Section 3 to the Act. Before we commence with this meeting, I must bring the following matters to the attentions of all councillors. In terms of Schedule 3 to the Act, as the presiding officer, I must call for nominations of candidates for the vacant position of the executive mayor at this meeting. Each nomination must be submitted on the prescribed form, and the IEC is ready with those forms by signing the nomination form. Furthermore, I draw your attention to Schedule 4 of Schedule 3 to the Act, in terms of which the person presiding at this meeting must announce the names of persons who have been nominated as candidates, but may not be permitted to a debate. In other words, there's no debate that's going to take place around that. In terms of Section 5 of the schedule, if only one candidate has been nominated, the person presiding must declare that candidate elected. If more than one candidate is nominated, and in accordance with item 6 of the schedule, a vote must be taken at the meeting by secret ballot. Each councillor present at the meeting may cast one vote. The person presiding must declare elected the candidate to receive the majority of the votes. In terms of item 7 of the schedule, the elimination procedure. In other words, if there's more than two candidates. If no candidate receives the majority of votes, the candidate who receives the lowest number of votes must be eliminated, and a further vote taken on the remaining candidates in accordance with item 6. This procedure must be repeated until and repeated as often as may be necessary to determine which candidate is to be eliminated. In terms of item 8, further meetings, and I'm just going to go through it. I don't think we'll get to that. If only two candidates are nominated, or if any two candidates remain after an elimination procedure has been applied and those two candidates receive the same number of votes, a further meeting must be held within 7 days at a time determined by the person presiding. 2, if a further meeting is held in terms of sub-item 1, The procedure prescribed in this schedule must be applied at that meeting as if it were the first meeting for the election in question. And then the last one, if at a further meeting held in terms of subsection 1, only 2 candidates are remain after the eliminating procedure has been applied and those 2 candidates receive the same number of votes, the person presiding at such meeting must determine by lot. But I think before we get to that, there is a certain part that actually gives the speaker the deciding vote. Yeah. And now going to the nomination process. There's a hand up, Councillor Mfikwe and then Councillor Novella.
Speaker, thank you very much. Good morning. I thought that you will indicate as well that as the voting and everything happens, parties must send their representative for the counting. Thank you.
Councillor Novella. Councillor Mukhasi after that.
Thank you very much, Speaker. I just thought maybe you should maybe clarify on item 7 of Schedule 3, what does it mean by majority of votes? Please.
Thanks, Speaker. That was also what we wanted you to clarify. It's key for us.
Okay.
The second one is that when we speak about party agents, we'd like them to do 2 things. Observe, then when anything happens after the election, there must be part, whether moved of boxes, there must be part of that. So that we don't have them outside.
We're not yet there, Councillor Mukhasi. Right, the question that has been raised by Councillor Novella. Councillors, if you had seen the, what is the meaning of a majority vote? Look at our own rules. What's the meaning, Paul? If you can just pass me that.
Speaker, you should ask for 5 minutes. Remember that talking about the votes, not the members. In the rules is majority of members of council, which is...
If you look at our rule books and you look at the meaning, majority of members of council means half the members of council plus 1. Have I dealt with it adequately, Councillor Novella?
Yeah, so you should explain furthermore, Speaker, on your Schedule 3, item 8, because it also speaks of the same, that if no councillor receive the majority of the votes, what should happen? So then this means that if nobody gets 136 as per this House's numbers, then there should be nobody will be declared an elected Mayor of Johannesburg. That's what we want to clarify before we go down.
Councillors, the questions have been raised to me, and obviously I'd like to take 5 minutes. Please don't go out. Let's come over so that I can consult and come back. Is that fine? Thank you. There's other hands that have been raised, councillors. Yes?
No, thank you, Speaker. I just wanted to check, because normally if there's 270 councillors, the quorum will obviously be 136. We now know that, unfortunately, we lost one of the councillors. Do we go to 135 or it still remains 136? Thanks.
That explanation will be given once the number of councillors in this House is counted. I've asked for apologies, and nobody said somebody apologized. So I'm unsure, because somebody might not have given his apologies. I hope you understand me. or might not be here. We are supposed to be 200
people.
Take care. Take care.
So it will be.
Let's
Okay, so first one is a spoon. Okay. Mama is one of them. I'm also free to
Yeah, I'm one of the three that want to be here.
Who's the third one?
Us three. Let's take one of the guys go first.
She doesn't want to start though, so maybe
Who's first?
I don't know. I don't want to start.
Whoever is first, I wasn't here.
Have you got my phone? Yeah. So it's just to start. No. My sister, no. Yes, you start.
Then the gentleman here will end.
Okay.
Hello?
Voice.
Yes, how are you, Preston? I'm good, how are you? Who's the third one? Yes, I can hear you, yes.
Second one.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Once it's done with you, you fly.
Just hold on.
And then she comes.
Preston, can you hear me now?
Same thing with you. And then the
Hello?
parents, whoever, you stand right behind.
Can you hear me?
Otherwise, we won't see you.
I'm at outside the council chambers in Joburg. Sorry?
Behind is like this. If you want to go...
No, we're using a satellite. I don't know what set it is. The mayor one. It's called mayor. I don't know which set. Sorry?
That way, I won't see
Yeah, I am in front of camera with DA supporters behind me. You can see me? Tunompu. Okay, sure. Okay, sure. So in the order, speak to me first, then here, and then you. Okay.
Should I open speak properly? Because I So guys, we don't know the results yet.
Sound check. Sound check, Nova.
Yeah, 1, 2, testing 1, 2. Done? Basadlalu Natasha. But they're very close. They're on standby, no? Kwanza njani? Kwani inkinga?
I'm about to continue with my zip down.
Oh, there's a cylinder. Poop, poop. I'm wearing the wrong tie.
The wrong time.
Oh, blue. looking good. I say you look good. Yeah, but I'm wearing a DA tie. Oh, yeah.
Ben 10.
Yeah. They'll say, oh, he's wearing a blue tie. Oh, okay, those are the people.
Ben 10.
Huh?
No way. Check what you are saying. I'm GP, I'm grandpa.
It's better with the Democratic Alliance. Uthi Natasha wenzalani manje phakathi? Just a 5 minutes, but it's going to go ahead.
Yeah, according to president.
Could you take a picture, Kim?
While I'm still waiting, I've just heard this.
No, don't go. We're almost.
No, I'm just. They sent me this. Now, people inside.
I'll try and take a short video as well.
I don't know what I think.
Well, Nombo can certainly tell you that here outside of the Johannesburg chambers, such a number of supporters have gathered here, DA supporters here in specific, outside, coming to here and waiting with bated breath to hear who will be announced as the mayor of Johannesburg today. And of course, they are hoping that their candidate, Funzela Ngobeni, will be the one who will be announced as the mayor of Johannesburg, and hoping that, of course, the DA will retain the Johannesburg, they'll retain Johannesburg. And of course, they are saying that, more than anything, they are hoping that the party will continue to rule this city. But let me speak to them and just find out more on their sentiments and why they're here. Baba, let me start with you. What are your expectations today?
My expectations is, as I'm talking from DA, I've seen the progress that has been going on. I'm from Soweto. I'm in Deep Kloof. I have seen first thing that have been happened for the first time after a very long time. For example, the tire roads. The tire roads, they were not potholes, just they were redone. The whole, it has never happened.
Let's speak about the expectations of what's taking place here today. What are you hoping? Of course, I can see that you're carrying some of the placards reaching Funzi for mayor. So what are your expectations with regards to today's outcome?
The results of today, they can go either way, but I'm thinking as an DA, I'll rally behind Funzi, simply because of he has been an MMC of finance. I believe things that have been happening, he was part of it, releasing money to all of this. And now I think that if he can come back, we'll see more on the ground.
Okay. Let me come to you, Ma. Your expectations, of course, you're also expecting Funzi to win today?
Oh, yes. Thank you so much. My name is Natasha Swartboy. I just would like to say to the people of Johannesburg, if you don't know who Funzi Ngobeni is, he's been an MMC of finance. We've followed his work. We've seen that he's done great work. He worked closely with Herman Mashaba. I think Herman Mashaba's laid a great foundation. We've got to follow through on this. We have seen not just personally, but I mean, no one can dispute that Herman Mashaba has done a great job. We've seen the skyline of Johannesburg changing. We have seen morale just in general changing. We have seen systems being put into place that is actually working again. A city can only work when its systems work. And that is great, and I would like to thank Herman Mashaba so dearly for that. And I think we don't even have another option than Funzi Ngobeni.
Okay, let me just interject there. The ANC, of course, very confident that they'll win today, and the EFF, which has been in partnership with the DA before, also confirming that it will not be voting with the DA this time around. Are you a bit, scared that Funzi might not make it?
It's a numbers game. It's a numbers game, and I think I think the parties will find that maturity, because it's not about the party, it's about getting the city to work. It's about, it's for all of us. It's for all of us, irrespective of who takes over. And I really hope and pray that they found that maturity to say, let's put all our differences aside, let's work together, let's join hands, and let's support one person. And at the end of the day, the DA does have the numbers.
Okay, let me move on to the next gentleman here. Baba, do you think the ANC is being opportunistic in this sense?
Ndenza la thina sifisa into iDA ngathi ngaphinde futhi iqhubeleke iphethe iCity of Johannesburg. Sikhwela lapha into amaphethe yona into ezezahluka kakhulu. For example, abantwana abafunda ezikoleni ema-college ba free anytime abahamba, even at night. Security sikhona for the protection ogebengu kwehlile kubanjwa inkunzi ezitratini, and then noba clean kwena sekwe community yethu lapha ntoni ku clean kakhulu nama ezitrati zilungisiwe kakuhle. Ngicela uba ntoni enye time bangafumani chance iDA iphinde ibuyele, then it will be much better.
Of course, saying that he hopes that the DA will win today, saying that it has done a lot for the community, fixing roads and schools and so forth. And so he says he hopes that the party will retain this city of Johannesburg. Of course, we do hear that as well, that the mayoral candidate for the DA, Funzela Ngobeni, is also going to come here later on to address some of these supporters that have gathered here, who are waiting to hear what will happen, what will unfold in those council chambers. We do understand that there has been an adjournment, a short adjournment for that matter, but they are waiting here just to hear what's going to happen, obviously hoping that the DA will still remain in power by the end of today.
Has to elect an executive mayor. So you cannot sit there as the presiding officer and tell us that there is a difficulty or misunderstanding in how you must interpret how much we elect an executive mayor. Number two, Mr. Speaker, you are seated there with legal minds. Unless you are telling us that all of them as seated there, they are incompetent, then it must be you who tells us, because that is your office. The last thing, Mr. Speaker, the IEC is here. And the IEC knows and understands procedure and what majority means. Give them an opportunity to explain to council what majority means. Otherwise, I see now, namhlanje.
You are not going anywhere today.
And Councillor Mfikwe, that's the last hand on this issue.
Yeah. Thank you, Speaker. As usual.
I thought you were closing me as you usually do.
Council, as per the books, forms quorum. That's one. So the council is in session. Number two, if anything, we are saying call Kokta, which is our chief, to come and preside over the meeting because you kaikile. If you can't, then the ANC will lodge an urgent court application. In fact, you are unfit to chair this meeting. You are disrupting council. So the ANC is staying here. We have a quorum. Thank you.
Councillors, yes, Councillor Mkhase.
I think we don't want to go around the circle as if we're saying something. Out of the proposal made, which was an addition of what we have said, we'll give you time. IGR, very simple. Go and consult, then you'll get an interpretation that's correct of legal, what it means. 136 is majority. That's how you won last time in 2016. What kind of, but go and get, please consult. Kokta is there. Don't consult with us. We're giving a chance because it's led by you. The rules are simple. The speaker leads. Then you have a confusion of interpretation of legal. We're asking you, we can give you 4 hours. You'll find us here. Please.
Councillor Hlonyane.
The Speaker, I think you are causing us a problem. and when we actually do not have a problem. We sent you to say, go consult. Out of your own consultation, you have came with a decision. The rule book is very clear in terms of any person who wants to contest the decision of a presiding office. Instead of dealing with that, you are busy opening it. It's like you have came back to us with a suggestion when we have sent you to say, go and come back with a solution. Now, if the solution is that this matter be postponed, you must just be bold and make that decision and stop moving us around.
Yes.
Councillors.
No, but Speaker.
No. No, dula fasi. Councillors, I think I've made it quite clear that I have consulted with legal, and all of them were there. And I have told you where the confusion is, as you have raised it. As you have raised it. And in fact, Councillor Hlonyani qualified it by saying that this is a very dangerous road that we are going on. And therefore,
Mr. Speaker.
And therefore, I really need to take a decision on this. And my decision, councillors, is that we postpone this meeting to the 4th of December and the 5th to deal with the quarterly reports and this election of the mayor. Thank you very much. Therefore, this meeting is adjourned.
Magwala, ba bereka kaofela.
Oh,